Welcome to another Founder Wisdom Pod with Justin Rowe. Today, he is CMO and founder at Impactable. That's a B2B LinkedIn ads agency. I've seen a lot of Justin's content lately. I think he's well positioned. He is also an owner, restaurant owner of Potbelly Sandwich Works. I need to try those, Justin. I've got to the US like probably 4 times my life. Will get back more there, but I've heard good stuff about Potbelly. So let's see. He's also founder of LinkedIn Learn, acquired by Impactable in 2021. So yeah, that became part of Impactable. So without further ado, I will introduce today's sponsors, which is Potbelly.com, my own podcasting company. If you want to start, scale, be invited to podcasts like this one, or get help for sponsoring one of your pods. Podcasts are great to learn, meet people like Justin, exchange for free with them, get ideas, network, and grow your network, because we might get leads and clients off that one. Let's hope. Podbuyer.com for podcasting agency that can help you. Justin, welcome to the pod. Can you tell me a bit more about yourself and Impactable?
Yeah, thanks for having me on here. Seeing you're on LinkedIn, I think we've kind of seen each other's stuff. It's nice to always jump on and meet people face to face. But yeah, so my name is Justin. I am the founder CMO of Impactable. Initially, it was LinkedIn Learn. So probably 5 years ago, my initial startup, I started as a freelancer on Upwork and started a LinkedIn outreach agency. So we were really heavy into LinkedIn automation, which was really big at the time. And scaled an outreach agency. We had about 210 active clients. And then we got acquired by a data heavy investor and made a really hard pivot 2 years ago into LinkedIn ads. That's 90 something percent of our revenue. We're a LinkedIn ads agency. We have about 180 active clients that we manage with LinkedIn ads. And we're now kind of expanding to other channels, Google, Facebook, programmatic, things like that. And yeah, that's kind of where we're at today.
Let's start with Potbelly. I'm hungry and I'm looking at some images now. I eat once a day. So yeah, that would be in an hour or two. I'm going to have my first meal and only meal of the day. Tell me about you acquiring 4 locations there. What was your plan back in the days, and did it fulfill itself nowadays?
Yeah, it actually started from LinkedIn, believe it or not. I was a restaurant operator. That was my first career. I had worked about 10 years, came up through the restaurant industry, and I was a market training manager for a brand, and I was just looking for something else. I came to LinkedIn looking for more opportunity, and I kind of took a very aggressive approach that turned into that lead generation kind of system where I purposely built a network of people that I thought could benefit, be mutually beneficial. At the time, it was business owners, district managers, HR managers, recruiters, that kind of thing. But it turned in eventually to more, business to business kind of thing. But that was how I kind of stumbled onto the power of LinkedIn. As I was looking for opportunity, I actually found investors on the platform that I partnered with. I had a couple of deals come up, and they basically said, "Hey, you're the most visible restaurant operator in this city," which isn't hard to do because no one's trying to dominate any given city in the world on LinkedIn in the restaurant space. So I accidentally became a visible restaurant operator in my city on LinkedIn, which attracted investment opportunities. I then I took one of them up on a deal. I became a part owner of that restaurant franchise. We started with 1 store. And then about a year into that, I convinced the main investor and a couple more investments to purchase 3 additional stores. So we went from 1 to 4. But it was during that time that I had nights and weekends and extra time to kind of build the LinkedIn lead gen side hustle that would eventually then become Impactable.
Potbelly itself, it's like a sort of a Quiznos, but like much more realer. I would say Quiznos, we have those in Canada, and definitely not that much similar to Subway. Looks way more authentic. Do you feel there's a nice return on these businesses? Because you've did the virtual stuff, you did that. I think it's a franchise, right? So tell us about the model and the potential revenue on that one.
Yeah, for For the franchise, so I do think, given my past kind of experience and history, that was a comfortable way to get into kind of business for yourself, because you are an independent business owner, but you have a model to follow. You have a proven, set of ingredients, a brand, there's national marketing. So I felt like that was decent comfortability. And that was a solid brand, but you're kind of hitching yourself to that brand. Restaurants are hard. Like, that's a hard way. I think the biggest thing for me is like the fixed costs. Like, no matter what, you need a good location. And usually a good location means on a prime corner, lots of foot traffic. That's, a high price per square foot for a place like that. And so it's like, on a given week or a given month, you're paying, there's thousands, tens of thousands of dollars you're paying, whether a single person comes in your restaurant or not. So it's like that fixed cost is pretty hard to overcome. And then the margins are pretty hard. But I would say overall, that was a solid brand and we ran it very efficiently. So yes, the return on investment on those, and we also got into that right before COVID hit, which probably going back in time wouldn't have done that. But all the stores survived. They're all still open today. They're worth more than the money owed on the loans, and probably in the next couple of years, the main owner of that, because I'm just a minority, is looking to sell that franchise, and will probably make a nice little profit from that. And the name of that game is usually just survival. If you can stay open, pay down your loans, because it takes a decent amount of money to get into that. You stay open, you survive. You'll get paid back, but it's a brutal game.
It looks like it's yes, and I had, I think, one or two franchise people in the last week or two, and that's what I was telling them, is the market saturated. I mean, they sell to franchisees, so a bit biased in their answer, but I know that it is somewhat saturated there. But on a time perspective, it doesn't take much of your time, right? It's almost autopilot.
If you have a good operating partner. So if you're putting up the money and someone else is running it, then your level of comfortability or how easy it is for you depends on how competent your operating partner is. Because someone has to own that, and that was me. That part is not the fun. Like, I think that's the crux of it. So in this example, I was the dependable operating partner that said, "Hey, I'll make sure these stores have GMs, that we have staffing, and if whatever hits the fan, I'll be the one that steps in and helps out." So if you have that in place, then I would say, yeah, that would be good. But if you're an investor and you don't have the right operating partner, then you could have a lot of sleepless nights probably.
And the outcome of that one is that you're expecting $1 million check in the next 4 years.
Yeah, that franchise, I mean, I won't get that much, but yeah, the main owner will definitely sell that franchise for over $1 million.
And free sandwiches and delicious soups.
I did enjoy a lot of free sandwiches. That was probably the greatest perk.
They look healthy too. Well, somewhat healthy. So yeah, I'll try these and hopefully the 421 one day. Let's talk about Impactable. I mean, 210 clients. Well, before we talk about Impactable, Lincoln Learn, 210 clients. That's a big roster. What was your retention rate on that? Because agencies are kind of infamous for their churn rate.
The retention on that business was really not good. So it was top of funnel, LinkedIn automation, LinkedIn outreach, and a cold approach. And we were pretty much disconnected from, like, the greater marketing ecosystem. So we lived and died based on the type of client we attracted. For example, a smaller operation, a solopreneur, company size 1 to 10, it's really hard for them to have the systems in place to get the value out of, like, top level leads. Whereas a mature, company with a good sales team, you give them, that's like gold to them, and they know what to do, and they can get amazing value out of that. So for us, we were an immature company. Our company's audience size that we were attracting was smaller, immature companies, and we were offering a top of the funnel lead generation. So yeah, our churn was not that great. It was a pretty high churn, and that led it to be, a lot of our cash flow was new sales, and the retention, was probably less than 3 months or 3 or 4 months. Yeah, it was not the best, not the best environment. We went through a lot of maturity iterations after that.
So you were hoping sort of for that acquisition, but I guess you were a good pick for them too. So how did that happen precisely, and how did that change life and business for you?
Yeah, I think the nature of that business and what it was also one of the reasons I was, more willing to sell. And also it was built on LinkedIn automation, which was itself something that was constantly being, struck down by LinkedIn, where constant odds with the actual platform. It seemed like like we were building a castle on sand. So we were looking to expand anyway. We had started dabbling with LinkedIn ads. At the time we sold, we had 20 LinkedIn ads clients and 180 outreach clients. So we had started to make the pivot or started to expand. And I was kind of hoping at the time that I would sell the outreach business and then I would keep the LinkedIn ads business and start fresh on my own. That was kind of my hope. But I didn't actually put any feelers out to sell. What happened is there was a Facebook ad from website closers, and it was just simply targeting agency owners, I'm sure. And it just said, get a free valuation of your agency. And that was the offer. That was their lead magnet, which was a pretty good hook. And so I responded to it. I realized it was a legit offer, that they would do an actual evaluation of the business and give us a value. So I did that because at the time I was like, I have no idea what this thing's worth. If it was worth, even like $300,000, like I'd probably be surprised if someone, was willing to value it or offer it that. So I got it valuated, and it was actually, the valuation was, I think it was like 700 or 800,000, which I was like, okay, I didn't know I had something worth that much. I mean, but there's just someone telling you what it's worth, and there's someone like actually offering you a check. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to get my hopes up. But that, to me, I was like, yeah, it's a pretty good number. And so their next play, which is really smart, is say, hey, we have a whole network of buyers, email list, a website, marketing channels. If you let us list your website for sale, it's no cost to you. The only thing that you'd ever have to pay for is if someone actually offers you whatever and you take it, we'll take 10%. If not, if you don't want to sell, nothing. So I was like, I said, okay, let's do it. I let them list it. I let them market it. And I really still had no intention of selling because I was going to pivot into ads. And I felt pretty confident that, so I wasn't looking for a bailout. I knew it was on shaky grounds, but I wasn't like desperate. But it was appealing because of the nature of that. And then sure enough, they did a great job marketing it. I had 3 or 4 offers, low ball offers within the first 30 days, but that still made me feel really good. Like someone offered me $250,000 for this. Like I was like, dang. And the rep was like, no, I'm not even gonna waste your time with a phone call on that one. You need way more. And then eventually, like legitimate offers that were around that price of evaluation. The one I ultimately accepted had no haggle on the price. It was just haggle over other stuff. And so, yeah, that's kind of how it started down there. And then that whole process is probably a whole nother line.
Wow. What's the name of that firm again that helped you sell?
Website closers, I
I
think
know
is the
them.
name.
Yeah. Huh. That's
They
fantastic. Great
got me on a
story, man.
Facebook ad.
And how game changing was it for you to receive that 758-ish K check in your bank account? What did you do with that?
Yeah, I would say that was pretty life-changing. And the structure of the deal I got the majority in a lump sum up front, and then I got another couple of contingency payments over the next couple of years. It was contingent on me staying on. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, when that when that amount hit my bank account, my wife and I celebrated, went out to eat. That's kind of when we also decided, okay, we had been kind of moving around for the Potbelly's franchise. We hadn't bought a house yet. So yeah, one of the first things we did was, where are we going to settle down, pay off anything that was outstanding, buy a house in a nice area in a school district for our son, and kind of settle down. And obviously I upgraded my office in the house when we got settled in. But yeah, that was life changing. I would say the funny part is, I had set the business up. I guess the business had grown so fast. There was a couple of things that like I just made stupidly. Like I had two separate bank accounts, but they were personal bank accounts, and one of the bank accounts was like where I was doing most of the business transactions. And so when it was time for them to write us a check, like they were like, we can't wire this to a personal account. Like you have to have a business account. And I legitimate didn't even have a business bank account to accept the money for the purchase of the company. Like just stupid stuff like that was happening during that process.
Must
That
have
made me
been
feel silly.
stressful though. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's gonna go through if I don't make that happen. These kind of
Yeah.
stressors.
Yeah. The other big one was they notified me at one point. They said, "Hey, during our process, we realized that your LLC has actually is not in good standing. It's been dissolved because you hadn't filed like whatever quarterly paperwork the year before." And it was like something stupid. Like, and then I'm freaking out. Like, oh my gosh, like I'm ruining this deal because I just stupid stuff. And so, but I mean, I made a couple of calls and email, paid $50, and it was back. But yeah, that was all going on. I'm just all the things you don't think about or don't like, no, like we don't know what we're doing when we're making our first startup, like, or our second one, probably like, we're people think we do, but it's not that way.
Very valuable insights right there. Now, since then, what has changed? You've been with them for 2, 3 years now. Are you still paid some kind of salary? Are you thinking of branching out like every good founders? What's up?
Yeah, the deal I have with the investor, I maintained about 20% ownership, which is enough to make me pretty interested in the growth. And the thing that he's done to make it even more interesting is he has invested even more money to help us scale faster. So now the crazy thought that I never thought, like I had never considered, is that when I make a second exit from the same agency, even though I have a lower percentage, my second payout there is no doubt in my mind, will be much bigger than my first one, which is crazy to me. Like never considered that. But it's because of the deal I took and because of the partner that I, ended up accepting the offer. That made a big difference because I could not build a $50 million company probably on my own. But with his kind of insights and backing, like, yeah, that's more than possible. And that's the goal. So I'm very happy I stayed on to be CMO. He is also not a micromanager. He literally does not, like my investor, like we agree on long-term like vision. And I get to do what, like I get to set my daily precedents, priorities, how we get there, as long as we align on vision. So I feel like, yeah, my work has not been hindered. I have full creativity, full control of everything. I do take a salary, and then yeah, I still maintain that ownership percentage, which is what really motivates me to grow something big.
What's the name of your investor?
I'm probably not gonna put
He's
it
not
out
on
on this
LinkedIn.
one. He is.
I'm
He's
gonna
not
find him
listed.
out. It's okay.
He's not listed. I'll give you a hint. He's one of the founders of SoftServe, which is a 13,000 person company that's based out of Ukraine.
Wow.
So he
Okay.
comes with really, really decent connections and some data companies in his portfolio that were complementary to us.
Very cool. I'm gonna check him out. Gonna invite him to the pod to see if he'd like to come.
Okay.
What has changed in the agency itself? You said you pivoted from outreach to ads and possibly remarketing, right?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things is, so when we went from outreach to ads, we went from basically being fully automation agency. If anything we could automate, we would. A lot of the client life cycle is automated. Clients felt like their relationship with us was automated. When we switched to the ad side, one of the things we wanted to redo was we wanted to, yes, use automation to make stuff more efficient, but reintroduce all the human touch, do more things that don't scale. So we've switched to a more personalized approach. And the big thing I think that the investor brought was the tech and data side. So instead of just a service company now, which we probably only would have been under me, now we're a tech enabled service company. He's invested hundreds of $1,000s into our own kind of impactable LinkedIn ads tools. So we have LinkedIn ads scheduling, website visitor identification, like stuff I would not have been able to bring to the table. And now we've expanded beyond LinkedIn. We support Google search, programmatic ads, and even Facebook and Meta. And we have a content offering where we do weekly interviews with subject matter experts at our client's company and chop that up into video assets and distribute. I think the biggest shift, yeah, is we want more into a personalized service enabled by tech, and we've embraced kind of data a lot more than we ever did before.
Right. And LinkedIn ads, to me, they've always been expensive and low ROI. I'm about to test the remarketing part of it. Is that where I should focus my tokens?
Yeah, I think so. Like for me, the superpower, most people are attracted to LinkedIn because the targeting is better. Like you can target, by seniority or job title, function, company size, geography, all these things that other platforms usually don't make so easy. But to me, the biggest superpower is retargeting, because all of those same demographic filters are available, but you can layer it on top of retargeting. And LinkedIn's insight tag picks up on all website traffic, not just LinkedIn traffic. So for most of the like mature companies we work with, they already have Google, they have SEO going, they probably have some Facebook ads, some light organic. And then when they're trying to introduce LinkedIn, yeah, the mistake is thinking LinkedIn is some isolated channel. And you're like, okay, first we got to fire up cold. Cold's expensive. We're not getting much traction. Okay, let's start retargeting that whatever. But the big thing is, yeah, if you have website traffic, you could just say, set up the pixel, set up your targeting audiences, let them collect. And then you could say, okay, let's just focus on our 30 and 90-day website visitors, and let's build trust and credibility with them, bring them back in and help convert them. That will help improve your Google search ROI, your SEO ROI, anything else you're doing. There's almost no chance that that's not going to be a positive ROI addition to your ecosystem if you just use the retargeting layer.
Very cool. I haven't logged in my LinkedIn ads accounts forever. I see they have lookalike now, list upload, which is quite useful. Because I own a cold email agency with Apollo, and I already cold email these folks. Obviously, if the ad is on the platform, it's more authority, and it's also more omni-channel. So yeah, I'll definitely try the retargeting option that I see here for first people that visited a company page. They can't do like a personal page, right?
They did just roll out thought leader ads, which allow you to boost personal posts from your LinkedIn ad account. That just rolled out in the last 4 or 5 weeks. That is brand new, and we're using it for ourselves. And that's one of those things where it's like, if you've done LinkedIn organic, because I saw you have a decent following, and after you've been around for so long, you make so many posts, you realize you have like some greatest hits. There's like 10 posts that I could pull out guaranteed. I know what post and when to post it, and it will like whatever. Right. But the way LinkedIn's feed is, you have to keep recycling it. But if now with thought leader ads, if you have those 10 greatest hits, you can just plug them into your ad account and make them evergreen. And you can either run them as cold or as retargeting, or both. So if someone comes to your website and then you want to make sure they see these 10 LinkedIn posts from you with all the social proof and likes and comments that make it look very trustworthy and authoritative, it's a really good strategy now.
Fascinating. Yeah, I'm gonna give it another go and keep you posted for that. What are your top 3 goals for this year?
Biggest goals for this year is we want to expand multi-channel. I am really, really passionate about expanding our Google search segment. It was the first foundational channel I rolled out for ourselves. I believe in it. I think it'll help support our clients and our ecosystem. The second big thing is I really want to keep growing our YouTube channel. I want to clean up the videos. That's a big project for me. We have 2,000 subscribers. And I know it doesn't sound like a ton, but anyone who's gone from 0 to 1,000, that's harder than, some of the growth on other channels. So I really want to keep laying into that. It's been extremely valuable for us. And the third one, actually, I'm not so sure about that one. Oh, personal one. I do want to. I have a 4.5-year-old son who's just starting to play soccer, which warms my heart. So one personal goal is just seeing his kind of development in that kind of discipline. I think it makes him really happy, and definitely make me happy.
Yeah, play ball, practice with him at the park, so forth. So thank you, Justin, for that. Where can people find out more about you?
You can look me up on LinkedIn. If you search for Justin Rowe, Rowe, I'm usually the first one to pop up, or our company Impactable. Our website is www.impactable.com. And I'm also, like I said, really proud of our YouTube channel. Search for LinkedIn ads or Impactable YouTube channel. You should find us. Those are the three best spots you can find information.
And I am Charles Cormier-Holes. That was another founder at wisdompodcast.com with Justin Rowe.